Welcome back. President Trump's approval rating unchanged from March in the new nationwide Marquette Law School poll.
Trump's approval nationwide at 46%, 54% disapprove, but the president's support is softening a bit on several key issues. Charles Franklin is the Marquette Law School poll director. He joins us now. Charles, always great to see you.
Good to be here.
So let's talk about some of these issues. We're seeing all this play out in real time with the massive tax and budget bill. You did ask about Medicaid, which is front and center in Congress right now. 83% of voters said they oppose cuts to Medicaid. So does this underscore the debate that we're seeing play out?
It absolutely does. And when we asked about a variety of things that could be cut, Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security were the top three that people opposed any cuts to. And all, as you say, over 80% opposed to cutting those.
The poll also showed that the economy really broadly at the top of the mind for many Americans. 20% of Republicans and 70% of independents say they disapprove of the way that the president is handling the economy. How big of a deal is that, and how important is the economy to voters?
I think the economy's right up there. When we ask what's the most important problem facing the country today, inflation is number one and the economy is number three. You could think those two are kind of connected to one another. Together, they make up 49%, saying one of those two is the most important issue. So anything that gives people pause about the economy and inflation is going to be an element in how they evaluate the president.
Looking at the issue of immigration, 90% of Republicans approve of the president's handling of immigration, 38% of independents, 13% of Democrats. Any significant change in these numbers in this latest poll?
No, we haven't seen a lot of change on that. Republican support, as you say, is quite strong for the president on this. And in his overall ratings, how he's handling immigration was the second highest ranked with a 50-50 split, but that was still second best for President Trump. I think what we see also on immigration is there is still well over 60% support for deporting immigrants in the U.S. illegally. Though when we add including those who've been here for a long time and have no criminal record, on that question, support falls to about 43 or 44%. So there is a difference between supporting deportations for immigrants here illegally, but when you add the proviso of no criminal record, support falls considerably.
Yeah, pretty interesting take there. Looking ahead to the midterms, right now 43% of voters said that they approve of Republicans in Congress, but only 29% for Democrats. Do you think that that's concerning for Democrats headed into 2026?
I think it certainly is, but one small point is that approval of the Democratic Party in Congress among Democrats is down around 50%. It's the dissatisfaction of Democrats with their own party's performance that's the issue here. It gives Republicans a leg up because their party's almost completely unified behind the Republican Party. But with Democrats, there's this dissatisfaction, the sense that the party hasn't done enough, and maybe disappointment in having lost the presidential race.
Yeah, still doing that soul searching after the election in 2024. Charles Franklin, the Marquette Law School poll director, it's always great to have your insight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, honoring Memorial Day.